dear students, today we can discuss about verb. In your textbook, English Grammar and Usage, you should take the page number 18 when listening this class. Verb is a content word that decides what the subject does in a sentence. It conveys an action, an occurrence, or a state of being. Verbs are described as action words. For example, here describe an example. Here she sings or dances or teaches or plays. Here these words are known as verbs, which are action words. Some verbs give the idea of existence or state of being. For example, verbs like be, appear, exist, feel, seem, belong, etc. convey a state of being, what state it exists. For example, she feels sad. Her hair is curly. The infant looks healthy. Here feels, is and looks are the verbs which conveys some meaning, a state of being or a meaning. Verbs are classified into two: main verbs and auxiliary verbs. And in the case of main verbs are again classified into transitive verbs and intransitive verbs based on the object. And dynamic verbs and stative verbs based on the action or state, and regular verbs and irregular verbs based on the past forms. And again, the auxiliary verbs are classified into primary auxiliary verbs, modal auxiliaries and semi-modal auxiliaries. Auxiliary verbs are verbs which helps to form a tense or an expression. They cannot form a complete sentence or their own and require main verbs to denote the action. The primary auxiliaries are be, have and do. These three verbs take part in the formation of various grammatical constructions but carry very little meaning themselves. No meanings, maybe a very little meanings are there. They are not action words. Modals and semi-modals also form auxiliaries as they combine with main verb to convey distinct meanings. For example, I am going to college. Here, be is an auxiliary and different forms of be are, is, am, are, was, were, etc. These are the forms of be. In different aspects, we use different forms of be. Next example is my brother has arrived from Mumbai in the morning. Here, have is the auxiliary verb and she does her work silently. Here, do is the auxiliary verb. He did not go there. This is a negative form. And did you do your homework? Here is the interrogative form of the auxiliary do. And they can achieve the goal. Here modal auxiliary used modal auxiliary can. And here can, could, may, might, must, shall are the examples of modal auxiliaries. And she used to go there quite often. Here used to is the semi-modal auxiliary. And dare, need, ought to, etc. are the examples of semi-modal auxiliary. Next here mentions what is a finite. A verb that agrees with its subject in number, tense and person is said to be finite. A finite verb shall always change according to the subject in its number, tense and person. Finite means limited. For example, she or he works in the hospital. Here used works because subject is she or singular. And next example is they or we work in the hospital. That means they is the plural subject, so used the plural verb work. And also I work in the hospital. This kind of agreement between the subject and the verb is called concord. This we studied before about the concord. And Here, main verbs are also known as lexical verbs as they have meaning on their own. And she has gone to the market. Here, verb is gone, and Sam bought a new car. They are going to college. Here, these verbs conveys different meanings. In the above sentences, gone, bought, and going are the main verbs. Has are auxiliary verbs that support the main verbs. Next, transitive and intransitive verbs we can discuss in another class. Thank you.